Shalom, 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 Yasha. This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called When in Captivity. When in Captivity. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash, double honors the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have ruled well through the Spirit, and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today's lesson is going to be called When in Captivity. All right, and I remember seeing this this news thing. It was like a while ago, but I'm gonna let it play. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
A retired Air Force veteran finds himself wrestling with a life that's lost.
A local sheriff is catching heat on social media for using food as punishment. That right there is the Warden Burger. Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones serves it to inmates in isolation. Our Cordy King.
Salakia, fair use. So like I said, so this is a warden, right, who is feeding his inmates who are like in isolation, what's called a Warden Burger. Okay, so fair use, fair use, fair use.
Sat down with the sheriff today about why he uses it. But Courtney, my question is, would he eat the burger?
Rob, that was my first question for him. So not only did he say he would, he did, and we have it all on camera. We're going to show you that in just a few minutes, or in a moment, actually. The sheriff tells us we do have the recipe for it, and we'll in dinner every day until they leave. We do have the recipe for it, and we'll put it on our website for you. It's basically a turkey burger. The sheriff says that what's punishment about it is that the inmate in isolation gets that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day until they leave isolation. And like you said, he has caught a lot of flack on social media.
Right, so the punishment is they have to eat this burger, all right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? There's no, you don't get ice cream, or you don't get to switch it up and eat spaghetti or something. No, you eat this burger every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, let me keep playing. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
About this, one person even calling him a disgusting human.
The State Department of Corrections is not my boss, so I basically don't give two what they think.
On Wednesday, we sat down with Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones and watched him eat this. It's no ordinary burger. It's what the sheriff calls a Warden Burger. So you have zero complaints about the Warden Burger?
Me personally, no. I would eat this. Hell, I'm eating it now.
The sheriff tells us he's been serving it to inmates in isolation for all 3 meals for the last several years.
This is jail. You don't get to choose. Your mommy and your dad and your Aunt Lily doesn't get to make your meals. I'm your...
All right. Did you hear that? Right. Let me rewind that.
Aunt. I'm your grandpa. Me personally, no. I would eat this.
Fair use, fair use.
Hell, I'm eating it now.
The sheriff tells us he's been serving it to inmates in isolation for all 3 meals for the last several years.
This is jail. You don't get to choose. Your mommy and your dad and your Aunt Lily doesn't get to make your meals. I'm your aunt. I'm your grandpa. I'm the one that gets your meal prepared and makes sure it gets done.
The sheriff says inmates get put in isolation.
Right. So, hey, when in captivity, man. All right. I just wanted to play that a little bit, right? But, it's basically like a turkey burger, and it's probably filled with all other types of different stuff or whatever. But, this is what we have to understand too, right? We're some of us, are in the prison houses, as the scriptures say, right? But we are in the land of our captivity. All right. So, and you think about this, this place here, how, wicked and evil this place is. All right. This is the book of First Esdras, chapter 8 and verse 24. It says, whosoever shall transgress the law of thy power and of the king shall be punished diligently, whether it be by death or other punishment, by penalty of money or by imprisonment. Okay, so even in captivity, right? We have some of our people who are, let's get that, who are locked up. Okay, all right, who are in captivity. Like a double captivity. All right, let's get Isaiah 42 and verse number 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Okay, and this comes from what? This, from these curses. All right, let's get these curses. All right, Deuteronomy 28, and let's start at verse 15. All right, it says, and you see, it says the consequences of disobedience. All right, and we just read with Second Esdras, right? Yahawah will punish you with death, imprisonment, right? Other types of punishment, and even money. Okay, but it says the consequences of disobedience. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahawah thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right. And when we go and read down a little bit, verse number 23, it says, and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. All right. Prison cells. Okay. Just like we read in Isaiah 42 and 22. Okay. But ultimately, all the children of Israel were in the captivity. Okay. So you see how the warden said, this ain't, I'm not your mama, not your auntie, right? You're going to get what you're going to get, right? Even this in the land of our captivity. All right. You think about, what we get. All right. Let's jump down. Deuteronomy, Salakia. Let me, let's see. Let's jump down to 47. All right. It says, because thou servest not Yahawah thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which Yahawah shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right. So one of the things, in hunger and in thirst. All right. In the land of your captivity, you're going to have to go to your enemy for the one of all things. And what is he going to give? When you talked about in these prison houses, the warden said he's going to give you this turkey burger for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right. He said you could drink all the water you want. It's unlimited water. Right. You think about the water. The water has got plastic in it. Right. You think about this place, man. Right. It's especially Babylon. It's defiled. All right. No land Sabbath, no nutrients in the food. Okay. And what is he giving you? He's giving you, the breadcrumbs, right? He's giving you your turkey burger, right? Your defiled food. Well, that's not defiled. I mean, we know that that's not, but I'm just saying, you're you're not going to get the best of the best, all right, in captivity, okay? This is Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 13. It says, and Yahawah said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All right. So one of the curses was what? We're gonna eat our food defiled, man. All right. We're gonna eat defiled food, man. All right. And I was just, just thinking about all the, the organic stuff, right? Is not really organic here. I was reading something about, people who were coming from other countries and eating the food here and getting sick, right? From these other countries where they actually get real food. All right. You got, red color, red dye, number 5, and, blue number. You got all these different things that they add into the food here. Okay. And like they said, the plastic is pretty much everywhere, right? You're inhaling plastic, you drink plastic. All right. This place is totally defiled. All right. Even if you try to eat, healthy. All right. Even this stuff is tainted. All right. Because what? You're going to eat your bread defiled among the Gentiles. Okay. And just so you know, we are yet this day in our captivity. All right. Let's get that. Baruch 3 and verse number 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, our power. Okay, so here in this land of captivity, what do you expect? Like when you just think about it, think about that warden. He's basically just like, who's gonna tell me otherwise, right? You're in captivity. I'm gonna feed you what I want to feed you. Okay, I'm gonna give you what I want to give you, right? Options, right? Options. Okay, he's basically like that. Like if you watch the video, he's just like, what do you mean options? There's no options. You're gonna get that turkey burger, morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At least it's turkey burger. Just imagine if he was just giving you, a swine something, some swine stuff. You know what I mean? So, hey, and this is captivity, man. All right, this is captivity, right? And who are we given to? Let's get that. This is 3 holy children. This is verse number 9, and it says, "And thou did deliver us." Matter of fact, let me start up. It says, verse 6. It says, "For we have sinned and committed iniquity, departing from thee." It says, "In all things that we have trespassed and not obeyed thy commandments, nor kept them, neither done as thou hast commanded us," right? As Deuteronomy 28 and 15 says. It says that it might go well with us, right? We were in the land of milk and honey. All right. They was carrying grapes. They had to have 2 people carry a cluster of grapes, man. Right? We gave that all up. All right. Because of our disobedience. All right. Because we didn't want to follow Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It says, "Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and most wicked in all the world." This is what we're given to. All right. And so in this place of our captivity, hey, we eat our defiled bread, right? This is why we want to get, that's what I'm saying. If you want to stay here in this place, something's literally wrong with you, man. Right? If you want to stay here and drink the plastic filled water, right? Eat the defiled bread, then so be it. You sit here, right? But those, who want out, hey, we cry unto Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi every day. All right? Every day for the abominations of this place, man. you know? And this is why we need Yahawashi. He gave us over to these enemies, all right? That these enemies may feed us, this defiled bread. So understand that, man. Like, we are and just understand that in captivity, they're not going to be out here serving you. You see what they're serving you, right? They're serving you even when you go out, and you'll go and pay for it, right? You go eat defiled food. You go eat lobster, crab, and shrimp, and they'll tell you it's a luxury, right? And you're over here just eating roaches and spiders of the sea, right? Thinking you're doing something in this place, right? That's how destroyed this place is, and that's how destroyed our people are. I can't wait to get, then you run out, I can't wait to go get me a steak, right? And I did videos of it where they've taken chunks of meat of stuff and glued it together. They call it steak glue, right? And then you go to them places where they have that, those inexpensive steaks, and you over there like, this is so great, right? Yeah, because they glued the pieces together, man. And here you are eating that, right? But this is what our captivity is, man, right? Understand, right? This is not supposed to be, what do you call it? The Hilton, man. This is not a 5-star, vacation, man. This is our captivity, all right? And you should want out of this place, man, right? You should be crying unto Yahawashi, repenting, coming back to Yahawashi in the land of your captivity, like Deuteronomy 30 says, all right? Because, hey, this place is bitter, man. And of course, you see the stuff that they'll feed you, man, at the end of the day. All right. That's why it says, let's see. In the book of Micah, right? Chapter 2 and verse number 10, it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, and it shall destroy you even with the sore destruction." All right. And listen, they do stuff just to barely keep you alive and functional. All right. Barely to keep you alive and functional. Right. So, Lucky, I did a lesson about famine, and they have out there in Israel, what did they calculated how much food the people in Palestine needed just to stay alive, basically. You know what I mean? And then they cut those rations even more. All right? Like, understand who we're dealing with. All right? Who your enemies are, man, at the end of the day. All right? And that this is captivity, man. Right? And you're not going to get the best of the best. All right? This is why we need Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay? This is why we need Yahawashi to return. He saves, he delivers. Okay? So I just want to do this quick lesson. Lord's will, this was edifying. Right, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who have ruled well to the spirit. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying, keep crying unto Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, sighing and crying in this place. All right, that he hears our cry. All right, in this land of our captivity, that he may deliver us from this wicked place, man. We this is truly not living, right? And then once you understand that, and understand, that we need deliverance from this place. That's what the gospel is all about. All right. So with that, I say a ball, and shalom.